We're going to keep on trying to strengthen the American family, to make American families a lot more like the Waltons and a lot less like the Simpsons.
Have you ever watched an episode of The Simpsons that felt just a little too real? Like there was something hidden behind the jokes? Something Fox didn't want you to see? Because there's one episode that nearly vanished before it ever hit the air. And when people found out why, it changed how they saw the show forever. It started back in the late 90s, when The Simpsons wasn't just a cartoon, it was a cultural earthquake. Every Sunday night, millions of Americans tuned in to see this yellow family do what no one else on television dared to do. Mock everyone, from presidents to preachers. But buried beneath the laughs was a darker story. One Fox almost buried for good. The network's own censors said the entire concept was unacceptable for air. And if you look closely at the details, you'll understand why. By 1997, The Simpsons had already built a reputation for pushing limits. Bart was banned in schools. Presidents publicly insulted the show. Whole cities were furious about being made fun of. But this episode, the one Fox tried to erase, hit a nerve even deeper. It wasn't just another parody. It was about a subject no animated series had ever dared to touch. And it was voiced by a famous filmmaker who had his own reputation for controversy. The story went like this. Homer meets a man named John, voiced by legendary director John Waters. John's funny, charming, and openly gay. Homer doesn't realize it at first, but when he does, he panics. He starts treating John differently. He worries Bart might somehow be influenced. It was classic Homer, clumsy, fearful, and ignorant, but it was also incredibly real. This was the first time a mainstream cartoon tried to talk about homophobia in America. Fox's Standards and Practices Department didn't like that one bit. They sent a 3-page memo filled with objections. They marked almost every line. Anything that mentioned the word gay or hinted at identity was flagged. The note ended with a chilling sentence. The entire subject and content of this episode is unacceptable for air. That could have been the end. Most shows would have backed down. But not The Simpsons. Showrunners Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein decided to take the biggest risk of their careers. They ignored the memo. They finished the script, recorded the voices, and sent it off to animation, knowing full well Fox might kill it before it aired. For months, they waited in silence. And then, something unexpected happened. By the time the episode was ready, the network had new leadership. The censor who wrote that memo was gone. The atmosphere had changed. What had been unacceptable was suddenly allowed. The episode, titled Homer's Phobia, aired in February 1997. And it didn't just survive, it won awards. It won an Emmy, a Glad Media Award, and something even bigger, respect. John Waters later said, "The only way to change anyone's opinion is to make them laugh first." That's exactly what the episode did. It didn't preach. It didn't lecture. It used Homer's stupidity to show real fear, real ignorance, and real growth. And it worked. But it also revealed something about Fox, a limit. The network wanted to appear bold and free, but behind closed doors, there were lines you weren't supposed to cross. This wasn't the first time Fox had tried to hide The Simpsons. Just years earlier, the show had offended entire cities. When an episode joked about New Orleans, local newspapers called it slander. Fox had to issue a public apology. The writers even made Bart write, "I will not defame New Orleans," on the chalkboard in the next episode. It was part joke, part surrender. And yet, they never stopped pushing. In another case, they took aim at Washington, D.C., showing a young Lisa losing faith in politics after seeing corruption firsthand. That episode made real politicians angry, but it was too sharp, too honest to ignore. The Simpsons wasn't just entertainment anymore. It was a mirror, and not everyone liked their reflection. Then came 2001, and everything changed. The world saw a tragedy it would never forget. Suddenly, jokes that once felt harmless became painful. An older Simpsons episode, The City of New York versus Homer Simpson, had shown the Twin Towers as a background gag. After September 11th, Fox pulled it immediately. It vanished from syndication for years. The creators didn't protest. They understood that sometimes laughter has to take a back seat to grief. But fans never forgot. When the episode finally returned, edited and sanitized, people started noticing strange details, like a magazine cover that seemed to show 9/11 years before it happened. It was just a coincidence, the writers explained, but the damage was done. Conspiracy theories exploded online. People began to believe The Simpsons could predict the future. It became part of the show's legend and its curse. But censorship didn't stop there. Around the world, countries began banning episodes for reasons that ranged from political to cultural to downright bizarre. In Brazil, an episode portraying Rio de Janeiro as a city filled with crime and chaos sparked outrage. The government threatened legal action. Fox had to apologize, and the episode was banned for a decade. In Japan, a gag showing Homer tossing their emperor into a dumpster got the show blacklisted. In China, an episode joking about censorship and Tiananmen Square was erased from streaming entirely. Germany cut out any scene involving Nazi imagery. Italy banned a Halloween episode for being too grotesque. The list goes on. And through it all, one thing stayed true. The Simpsons never apologized for being fearless. Even inside Fox, tension was growing. When street artist Banksy was invited to create a couch gag in 2010, no one expected what he'd deliver. The opening showed sweatshop workers chained in Fearless. Even inside Fox, tension was growing. When street artist Banksy was invited to create a couch gag in 2010, no one expected what he'd deliver. The opening showed sweatshop workers chained in factories, mass-producing Simpsons merchandise. It was dark, brutal, and aimed directly at the network itself. Fox almost pulled it, but in the end, they aired nearly all of it. Only a few tiny edits were made. That episode became a symbol of rebellion, a show mocking its own masters and surviving. But not every battle was won. Some episodes simply disappeared. In 2019, Stark Raving Dad, the episode featuring Michael Jackson's voice, was pulled from streaming after the release of Leaving Neverland. The show's own producers made that call. James L. Brooks said it wasn't censorship, it was about morality. "It feels like burning a book," he said. "But we had to do it." Even the creators knew the world had changed. Looking back, The Simpsons' relationship with Fox has always been a love-hate story. Fox built the show, promoted it, and got rich from it. But at the same time, they feared it. They feared its honesty, its reach, its ability to embarrass the powerful. When something pushed too close to the edge, religion, politics, sexuality, tragedy, the network tried to bury it. And yet, that tension is exactly what made The Simpsons great. The very fight to stay on air became part of the show's DNA. Every time Fox said, "You can't do that," the writers found a way to say it louder. And in doing so, they created something no cartoon had ever achieved. A series that grew up with its audience, questioned authority, and outlasted nearly every critic who tried to silence it. Today, you can watch most of those once-banned episodes on Disney+. But every so often, one goes missing. It disappears quietly, no announcement, no reason. Fans notice, they talk, they dig, and somewhere, deep inside a Fox vault, sits a reel labeled unacceptable for air. Maybe it's Homer's phobia. Maybe it's something darker. Maybe it's a story that was just too real to laugh at. The truth is, The Simpsons has always known exactly what it was doing. It never wanted to be comfortable. It wanted to make you laugh, yes, but also to make you think, even when it hurt. And maybe that's why, all these years later, it still matters. Because behind every joke and every couch gag is a reminder of what happens when art refuses to be silenced. So next time you watch The Simpsons and laugh at Homer's stupidity or Bart's rebellion, remember this: the reason you can still see them at all is because someone once risked everything to keep them on the air. And somewhere in Fox's archives, there's a file marked, "Do not broadcast." And if you ever get to see what's inside that file, you might never look at The Simpsons the same way again.